Alright folks, we've got the best of the best in our hands today and we're going to duke them out. We've got the Sony X Mark 6, the latest, the greatest, the most expensive thing that Sony has to offer, and Sennheiser's answer to that, the Momentum 4. These are not cheap headphones. You definitely don't want to be spending your money on the wrong decision, so let me help you choose. We'll be talking about travelability, we'll be talking about fit and comfort, noise cancelling and transparency, the app, the features, microphone quality, the battery life, and finally the sound quality. So let's begin. First up, let's start with fit and comfort, because if it doesn't fit you, what is the point? And this is a bit of a deal breaker, because if you have a larger head with larger ears, then the Sennheiser Momentum 4 is going to be better for you. The ear cups on the XM6 are smaller, so it's great for smaller heads, but if you've got a smaller head and smaller ears like me, then both of these work. So try them out first. Go to a store and try them out, and if you've got a larger head, then I'm afraid this is the better option for you, and this video comes to a very quick end. If, however, you find that both of them fit you, that's where it gets a little more interesting. From a comfort point of view, the X Mark 6 is better because it's lighter, it's just less clamp force on the head, and it's still very snug on the head. It's just more comfortable. The Sennheiser gives you a more heavy feel with more clamp force. Still not uncomfortable per se, but if I had to choose from a comfort point of view, it's going to be the Sony on this one. Which brings me to travel. Okay, when you travel with these, because they're noise cancelling, you're probably going to take some flights with them. The X Mark 6 is much smaller in the package because it folds flat and then folds in on itself, and the case is so awesome with this magnetic I love this thing. No zippers here, makes such a difference. It's a small thing, but it makes a big difference, and ultimately this takes less space on your bag as well, so this is the one you probably want to travel with. So this round goes to Sony. Now, from a control scheme point of view, both headphones have their right ear cups being large touch surfaces, and I absolutely love it, and both of them have great controls, and both of them have tried to give you a little something extra. For example, on the Sony, if you put your right ear to the right ear cup, it goes into transparency mode, so you can have a conversation or listening to those announcements at the train station, take your hand off and it goes back to your previous mode. This is great. Sennheiser tries to add value by giving you pinch control. So if you pinch close, it goes towards noise cancelling, and if you pinch open, then it goes towards ambient sound mode. The problem is that it very slowly goes towards ambient sound mode, so you have to kind of repeatedly pinch it open or pinch it close, and the effect is that it's too cumbersome. For this one, I am going to give it to the Sony in terms of control scheme, but only by this much. They're both very, very good, but I think the implementation of some of the extra things are better at Sony. Now, when it comes to the app and features, a little bit of a mixed bag. The Sony's app is a mess and it needs to be reworked. Sennheiser, much more clean and minimal. If you end up buying the XM6, by the way, I did a whole tips and tricks video that I'll leave up here, and you can go check that out. It'll help you get set up and it'll help you with some recommended settings to get the most out of your XM6. But fundamentally, my problem here is the features. There are a lot of features and they both have a lot of the same features, but the way they're implemented on the Sony seems a little bit more user friendly, and I think that's what matters to headsets that are more consumer focused. Let me give you a couple of examples. Number one is Find My EQ. Basically, you get to listen to different sound samples, pick ones you like, and then it sets a sound signature that works for you. Sony's is a three-step process. It's really simple. You get to play the music that you're familiar with, which is a big thing, and then it adds treble, reduces treble or whatnot. You choose the one you like. 3 steps later, it's got a sound signature that you should, in theory, like. It's not got much granular control, but it works and it's simple to use, which is what most people want. Sennheiser has 2 different ways of doing it. One of which only works with low quality audio for some reason, but that's the nicer one. The test is nicer. If you want one that works in high quality audio mode, it's a different test that's a little more cumbersome, has more granular control, but does not allow you to use your own track. So it's some unfamiliar track they're using. It gives you a lot of fine control, but you have to really, really listen, and it can get quite confusing for a lot of people. Ultimately, it's a more cumbersome process. If you can get used to it, that's good. But generally speaking, if you want a hassle-free, quick thing that works, the Sony's got a better implementation. Same thing goes for switching between noise cancelling and ambient sound modes. On the Sony, noise cancelling is there and there's just one setting, and if you switch to it, it gives you the best it can give you, and that's it. Ambient sound mode, you get to choose between 1 and 20, and I would choose between 13 and 16. That gives you a very nice ambient sound mode, and it remembers that. Every time you switch to ambient sound, it'll go back to that. This is what you want. The Sennheiser, on the other hand, tries to do the same thing, but it messes up. It allows you to switch between a certain level of noise cancelling and then full ambient sound. It doesn't let you have granular control over both, and the Sennheiser needs it because the noise cancelling is not that great. So you always want full noise cancelling. But if you set that, then you can't set a separate ambient sound mode. And the ambient sound mode also is not great, so you want a specific granularity there, which you don't get. So while Sennheiser has tried to give you this option, the end result is just not well implemented. And there are other examples like this. This is the problem between the Sennheiser and Sony. Both of them are packed with features, and you're not going to feel like you've missed out on features on either one. But the Sony, despite its app's design, seems to be just easier to use to actually set up those features and use it. And I think that makes a lot of difference for a lot of casual users. So let's talk about noise cancellation. On this one, it's the Sony all the way. The noise cancelling is so good, it blocks things out like it's a brick wall between you and the world. And it works really great. It's one of the best out there. Transparency is so good that it's almost like you're not wearing headphones at all. Compare that with the Sennheiser, which has mediocre noise cancelling at best, and transparency that is it's a bit much. It over-exaggerates everything. You can fine-tune it, but it's just not that great. The Sony is the easy winner here. And as for microphone quality, well, take a look for yourself. This is the Sennheiser Momentum 4, and as you can see, traffic is in full swing. I will admit it's not the loudest traffic in the whole world, but there is a fair bit of it. So what do you think? This is the Sennheiser Momentum 4 in traffic conditions. And this is the Sony X Mark 6 with a fair bit of traffic squeaking on the roads behind me. What do you think? Now, I've been speaking in a normal voice on both these headphones, and I think they're both very, very good. Maybe the XM6 reduces background noise a little bit better, but overall, though, I think this is pretty good, right? For microphone quality, I think they're both great. They're both good enough that your Zoom calls are going to sound very professional, even if you're sitting in the middle of traffic with a hurricane going by your ears. They're both good. I wouldn't make a distinction based on microphone quality here. Which brings us to sound quality, and this is an important one. So let me break this down really easy. Sennheiser is the one you want if you want the best sound quality out of the box. Sony's not bad, they've made improvements from last time, but the fact is, I would more readily tell people, get the Sony, apply a little bit of EQ, and then it becomes quite nice. Sennheiser sounds clear out of the box, sounds pretty natural, a little bit sharp on the treble, but bass is nice and tight, it's punchy, well controlled, it sounds a little more spacious. Yeah, I think the Sennheiser is the one you want to go for, just great sound out of the box. Both of them have EQ settings, both of them allow you to tweak them, and I've given you the best EQ settings I can give you in both the in-depth review videos and the tips and tricks videos, so be sure to subscribe and check out those videos. So then, how do we finally decide? Well, it comes down to head size before everything else. Like I said, if you've got a big head and big ears, the XM6 will squish your ears a little. You don't want that, go for the Sennheiser. If both of them work for you, like they work for me, then it's really simple. Do you want something that's travel friendly and has some of the best transparency and noise cancelling in the business? Go for Sony. Do you want something that feels a little more hefty and you're okay with mediocre noise cancelling and mediocre transparency, but you want really good sound just out of the box because you don't want to mess with that EQ and you don't mind a little bit more clamp force on the head, then the Sennheiser is the one for you. Question is, which one would you choose? Tell me in the comments down below, and if you think the video was useful, then subscribe and like. And I'll see you in the next one. Stay happy, stay peaceful, stay colorful. Namaste.